All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Aaliyah Bunch, Eastern Minority Supplier Development Council's Director of MBE Services. So I was waiting a few minutes to try to let a few attendees join, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I'm so excited. This is this is my first event of 2022. And this is Secure the Bag, our funding resource session for January 2022, our first quarter funding resource update. I'm so happy today to have my presenters join me today from the SBA. I want to thank Ms. Kim Stout and Ms. Wilma Bonilla for joining us from the SBA. We have Kim Stout, the Economic Development Specialist from the Eastern Pennsylvania District Office. And we have with her Lender Relations and Economic Development Specialist from the Eastern Pennsylvania District Office as well. So these ladies are going to give us an SBA funding update. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to place your questions in the chat. And at the end of the presentation, these young ladies will get to your questions as they come in. So enjoy the session. If you have any questions, feel free to follow up with us at the end of the seminar as well. We will make sure we have contact information for the SBA representatives as well. So thank you, Kimberly, is all yours.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? If you'll just give me a minute, I'm going to go ahead and get my slides shared so that you can see what we're going to go through here today. All right, can everybody see that? Okay, good. So again, my name is Kim Stout. I am with the Eastern Pennsylvania Small Business Administration. We are based out of Eastern Pennsylvania, and we cover the 40 counties of Eastern Pennsylvania. So we go all the way out to the other side of Chambersburg, kind of straight up to Northern Pennsylvania around State College. State College is actually part of the Pittsburgh district office, but we're here this morning just to go over some of the SBA updates and information that we've actually kind of been away from for a little bit of time because of COVID-19 and being so heavily involved in disaster assistance. I'm going to go over our traditional programs, and then my colleague Wilma is going to go over some updates about COVID economic injury disaster loan and just PPP forgiveness, and any questions that you might have, we'll definitely be taking at the end of our presentation. Wilma is online, so if you have questions, she's going to also help monitor the chat while I'm talking, so you can put questions in there as well. So the Small Business Administration has been around for I think since the 1953, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But basically, our mission is to basically help small businesses start, grow, expand, and recover. Most of our time is helping small businesses get started in Eastern Pennsylvania or giving them resources to help expand their businesses. As I mentioned, the last 2 years, we've been heavily involved in the recovery process for the pandemic. We're going to cover a little bit of how we traditionally have helped in past physical disasters. But for today, I just wanted to touch base as a reminder that the Small Business Administration has a number of resources out there to help support your small business, regardless of what stage you are in. We help fund a number of resource partners. And these partners of ours work closely with small businesses, either one-on-one or providing trainings to small businesses so that they can support you in whatever your needs are. If you're a startup and you're looking to develop your business plan, if you are a business that's looking to expand into international trade markets, they're here to provide you that one-on-one assistance. We don't have the staffing in our district office to dedicate hours and hours of technical assistance to small businesses. So our partner network is here to provide that assistance to you. One of our partners would be SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit organization that has volunteers that mentor small businesses. Regardless of where you live, you can go to score.org, put your zip code in, and there'll be a chapter near you. What's great, obviously, now that we're doing so many things remotely, is that SCORE actually has been very good in past years, pre-pandemic, to offer virtual mentoring as well as trainings to small businesses. So if you go to score.org and you have a specific need for your small business, you can actually look at the mentors' bios from across the country. And if you have somebody who has a particular niche in what your small business needs support in, you can actually request to have that mentor help you from wherever they are in the country as well. All of the resources through SCORE, the technical assistance through SCORE is at no cost to you. There might be a small cost to attend some of their workshops. It's mostly unlikely. I mean, I know they have a couple of workshops that you might have to pay a fee for, especially the 5-week series about starting your business. There's a small fee for, but most of the time it is a no cost workshop to our small businesses. We have our small business development centers. There are 16 of them across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Here in the Philadelphia area, we have Temple, we have Widener, Lehigh Valley. They're here to support you as well with one-on-one consulting. Lots of expertise from their consultants. They also use grad assistants from the local universities that support them to also provide support to our small businesses. And the consulting part is free. Some of the trainings, again, might have a small fee to them, but again, they're here to support you. We have 2 women's business centers in our district. We have assets out in the Lancaster area. And then here in Philadelphia, we have Weebeck East. The Women's Business Enterprise Center East also supports the third-party certification for our women-owned small business certification. So the Women's Business Center can provide the technical support to your small business, and then they can also support those who are interested in this women-owned small business certification. And if you are a veteran, we do have a Veteran Business Outreach Center. The closest one to us that supports the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is actually through the University of Maryland. And Stephen, the director, will, once the pandemic is over and we're out of this virtual world, he very easily comes up to Pennsylvania. However, now at this point in time, most of the, I would say 99.9% of the things are being done virtually, but we do have a great support from our Veterans Business Outreach Center. We offer a Boots to Business through our office that supports veterans who are looking to start a small business, and the VBOC is very much involved in that. Also, if you have not been on the website, if you go to sba.gov, we do have a learning center that provides virtual workshops and webinars that you can go on at your leisure when time permits to do online courses to help you start and run your small business. So all of these resources are there for you. Whether you go through one of our resource partners or the Learning Center, really the SBA just wants to make sure that you have the information available to you as a small business owner, regardless of stage, regardless of needs. There's support for you and help that they can get to you. This is our district office information. We're currently still working remotely. That will be changing in a couple of weeks. However, the best way to reach both Wilma and I is via email. Whether you have a question that we don't answer today, or you walk away in a couple of weeks and you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. The best way is via email, and we can schedule either a conference call with you or answer your questions online. Wilma covers the Philadelphia area. I cover out more of central Pennsylvania, but we have our colleagues that help us throughout eastern Pennsylvania. So regardless of where you're located, we can provide resources and assistance to you. If for some reason you're joining us from out of state today, we do have district offices throughout the country. There's 68 of them, so we can definitely put you in touch with the closest district to provide you the local support. If you go to our website for Eastern Pennsylvania, the one thing I wanted to point out here is small business events. Again, the majority of these are still being held remotely, but through SBA and through our resource partners, SCORE, the Women's Business Center, VBOC, and the small business development centers, we've been offering numerous webinars on all sorts of days. So you can go to the calendar, see what's being offered, see what subject matters are being offered, and reach out and join us for any of those workshops. We're not going to go into too much detail, but I know that it was mentioned earlier that we have some small businesses who may be interested in government contracting on the line today, or our small business certifications. The Small Business Administration knows that the world's largest customer is the U.S. government. So we provide support to small businesses to understand what federal government contracting is, how the government can hire you, contract you to provide goods and services to federal government agencies, and how to understand that process and get your foot in the door to start selling your product or your services to a federal agency. George Tapia and Jen Tilden in our district office are the business opportunity specialists. They do offer a monthly webinar the fourth Thursday of every month about government contracting. And then they also do one just focused on certifications. That's really the best way to get started if you have not been involved in government contracting as of yet, is to attend that virtual workshop, get an understanding of what federal government contracting is and how to start if you haven't done so already, and then to attend the certifications to better understand how you can use those certifications to market your small business to federal agencies. With the business opportunity specialists in our office, they want to make sure that you are ready and prepared to present your business and sell your products and services to the federal government. So we can help determine if you're ready by talking about how marketable you are to different agencies, what your offerings are, what kind of structure or experience you may have, what systems you need to be putting in place. Really, when you become a government contractor, you want to make sure that whatever the agency is asking for, you can deliver. You have the capacity, you have the ability to do so, so that you can set that good impression and continue to do work with the federal government. They will also help show you how to find different contracts and the best ways to submit bids for those. There's a number of certifications that you can consider. All of these have different types of requirements to them, and more information can definitely be found on sba.gov, but you can also attend those workshops with Jen and George through our office to get more information. They do talk about the 8A certification, our Hub Zone certification, which is for businesses that are located in historically underutilized business zones, our Women-Owned Small Business certification, and our Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Business program. So these certifications all have different requirements, what we're looking for, etc. So George and Jen are great at helping us better understand what you may need as a small business to apply and to be able to be part of those programs. I'm going to jump ahead. We do have procurement technical assistance centers as well. They will help you with government contracting once you have a better understanding and have specific bids that you're looking for, etc. And these services are free and no cost to you as well. Basically, for the Small Business Administration, most people know us for access to capital and our different programs that we have available for small businesses. The reason that the Small Business Administration has put loan programs together is to make sure that our small businesses have access to capital. You hear all the time that somebody goes to a bank and they're denied. The best thing to find out is why you were denied, but the SBA wants to make sure that we have programs that, even if you don't fit 100% into the profile that a bank is looking for, there's opportunities for you as a small business owner to gain access to capital. Most people know us for our 7A loan program. This is a guaranteed loan program, which means that if the small business owner goes into default, the bank actually gets a percentage of that back, and then the federal government, the SBA, works with that small business owner to pay back the loan. When I purchased my business years ago, I was able to do so with a 7A SBA loan. We also have microloans that are focused under $50,000. We have community development financial institutions that offer these types of loans. We have 7 of those here in the Eastern Pennsylvania district office, and we want to make sure that, again, if you're looking for a small loan, you have the opportunity to have access to that. So our microloans are through CDFIs, who are nonprofit lenders. They usually work off of a mission. They're not traditional banks, and they're looking to fund those who cannot get funded through typical lending institutions. There's other programs that we can go into detail. You guys are going to get the slides today. If you have questions about surety bonds, research and development awards, or private investors, please reach out to us. But I really want to make sure that you understand that there are small business opportunities out there for you to acquire funding. It's not always through a traditional bank, but we try to make it less difficult for you to access that funding. One way that you can actually find a small business loan is through our program called Lender Match. This is on SBA.gov. We always suggest that you reach out to the lending institution that you already have a relationship with. However, if that does not work for you, we want to make sure that you have access to a program that can introduce you to lending institutions who may be interested in your project, in your business, and investing or supplying you with access to capital. The Lender Match program is super easy. You go to our SBA.gov website, you can search Lender Match or put /Lender Match. You describe your needs. There's about 20 questions that we ask, about what your financing needs are. That then gets submitted to lending institutions who have signed up to receive requests from us. The lending institutions, if they have interest in speaking with you, have 48 business hours to respond to you. Then you continue the conversation with that lending institution and hopefully leads to a small business loan for you. This is in place of, we've tried to put this program in place to prevent predatory lending. A lot of people think, I'm just going to go online and sign up with this group. They say they're going to give me money. Well, read the fine print. You don't know what that, if money is easily come by, there's some attachments to that. We don't want you to have high interest rates. We don't want it to be a situation where you're constantly paying a loan that you're never ever catching up to. We've had so many businesses who have approached us after getting into a predatory lending situation. Their credit has been destroyed. They can't pay it off. And then, of course, no other lenders are looking to supply them with a loan because of the situation that they've gotten themselves into. So we want this program to be out there to help support our small businesses get into a loan or an opportunity with a lending institution that is a reputable lending institution. We always go in through the 5 C's of credit with lending. This is what a lending institution is going to look for. We do offer other webinars that go into detail about this. However, if you are looking for a small business loan, you need to consider your character. And that basically means your experience, your credit, what you're bringing to the table if you're starting your business, or if you've operated your business and you're looking for funds, what your business has done, who you are as the person, who you are as the owner. We're going to look at cash flow, the capacity to pay back a loan. If you take a $50,000 loan, how are you paying that back? We do require collateral. We do require capital being invested in that. You can typically look at a startup business. We're looking for 10% to be your equity injection, capital money that you put in yourself. And then, of course, the conditions of the industry, of the business, location, competition, things like that. And all of these 5 C's of credit can easily be answered in a business plan. Your business plan doesn't have to be 100 pages, but you do want to have something that you can present to a small business lending institution so that they can understand who you are, what you need for funding, and how you're going to pay that back. And I'm going to wrap up quickly here, and move over to having Wilma talk a little bit about our disaster. But before I do, as you grow your business, as you expand your business, if you are looking at opportunities to export your goods or services, we supply support for that as well. We have different loan programs. We have technical assistance that can help you find other countries and navigate how to export into those countries a little bit easier. So that you can grow your small business. With e-commerce today, you may not even be aware that you have people that you're supplying your goods or services to Canada, to Spain, etc. But if you are doing so, we can help support those efforts as well. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Wilma, and she can talk a little bit about how we help with disasters, and then update with what's happening with our COVID-19 pandemic efforts.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. So as you might know now, thanks to COVID, you know that SBA will help recover your business due to a natural disaster. For COVID idle, for an example, now that the program has closed, we are seeing a few scenarios. One of them, let's say that you need to request an increase to your loan. So for example, if you already received your funds and still you're experiencing, the effects on COVID on your business, you can request an increase. So how do applicants or borrowers do this? So they go through their portal and they request to increase their amount. It is important to note out that you don't have to apply for a new loan. It's just that you go through your portal and you request an increase to the already given loan. A few things to note out. If you're requesting an increase to your loan, be mindful that SBA will require you to sign the form 4506T in order for SBA to get your federal income taxes. What we're seeing with the 4506T, it's that they're coming back as, let's say, for example, they didn't match the existing business. So you have to be careful how you actually add that information to your 4506T. So if you have your previous income taxes, let's say you have the form 4506T and you're filling it out, be careful how you actually fill it out, because you need to match exactly your previous income tax. So let's say your name is John Doe Inc. You have to be mindful that you need to include in that name slot John Doe Inc. Because if not, it will come back as the business not existence. And I see a few issues with that. The other scenario is that, let's say you receive a decline letter. For example, let's say that SBA couldn't verify the information you already included. So for that, and if you're still interested in getting the idle loan, I would suggest that you actually write a letter to SBA no more than 6 months from the date of the letter, from the date you received the decline letter, requesting a reconsideration to your loan application. Most probably, if you already know that the 4506D form, it's gonna be needed, include that form as well. For loans over 500K, most probably SBA will be requesting your standard resolution, meaning your board, your standard resolution of the board, your schedule of liabilities, list of real estate owned, and your SBA form 413, which is your personal financial statements. If you need these forms, you can reach out to either Kim and I, and we can send those forms to you. So let's say you request a decline letter, and be mindful that SBA is taking some time to review these reconciliations, since there's a lot of people actually applied. So first of all, if you're still interested in the SBA loan and you receive a decline letter, please send an email to SBA requesting a reconsideration to your application. Again, you can send an email to me just saying, if you haven't received any any communication from SBA, meaning disaster assistance, you can send an email to me. Here you go, wilma.bonilla.oliver@sba.gov, and we can figure it out what's going on with your application. Another possible scenario is that, let's say you applied on time for the targeted EIDL advance. So a few things might happen here. Let's say you receive a decision letter from SBA saying that you were not eligible for the targeted EIDL advance because you didn't meet, one or two or any of the eligibility requirements for the targeted advance. Keep in mind that you as well can request a reevaluation of that decision. So again, it needs to be in writing, and you have to send it to SBA as soon as you receive that decision letter, okay? And include any information that will help, SBA overcome that decline, okay? So let's see, it's almost 10:30. I'm not sure if we have questions on the chat. Yeah, I'm not sure if.
Yeah, while you're looking at the chat, I'll stop sharing. But what I also wanted to share quickly too, that we don't have a slide on here, is that we had Hurricane Ida also affect the area. I think in September. It all runs together, I apologize, but we still have economic injury disaster loans being accepted for Hurricane Ida for small businesses and residents that were affected in specific counties. Philadelphia, Chester County, Delaware County, etc. were all part of that disaster declaration. So if you're curious or you weren't aware of that, you can also reach out to us and we can make sure you receive information about that as well. That's completely separate from our economic injury disaster loan. So feel free to contact us if you have questions about Hurricane Ida and your businesses maybe being affected by that as well. I have a question in the Q&A about the link for Lender Match. We're going to be sending out these slides to you guys afterwards, so information will be available to you during that as well. But for SBA Lender Match, it's sba.gov/lender match, and you can have that available at any time. But the presentation is coming out. And the other topic that we didn't really hit on is Paycheck Protection Program. As you know, that was available during COVID as well, for small businesses to get up to 8 weeks of payroll. If you have not applied for forgiveness yet, you definitely want to do so, so that loan hopefully can be forgiven for you. It was a forgivable loan if you used it within the terms of the funding. Please reach out to the lending institution that you received the PPP funds from and apply for forgiveness through them. We do have some lending institutions that are using SBA direct forgiveness, but you can go to sba.gov/PPP for additional information. If your bank is providing direct forgiveness through SBA, they should be able to provide you with that link. If they are submitting forgiveness applications themselves, they can go ahead and provide you the information that they need for you to provide that forgiveness application. The deadline for Paycheck Protection Forgiveness is 10 months after the end of your covered period. That's very vague because we don't know exactly when everybody got their loans, but if you got the funds, how long was your covered period? You had up to 24 weeks. And then 10 months after that 24 weeks is when your forgiveness period starts. So, we do have some people that are still within that time period, but you want to make sure you apply for forgiveness so you can receive that. Wilma, was there anything else in the chat that I may have missed when I was presenting that we didn't answer?
No, I don't think so. Nope, we're good.
All right, so at this time, if we don't have any other questions, We do not have any programs for bookkeeping. The SBA is a government entity, so we actually do not give out specific referrals for small businesses. We're not allowed to as federal employees. What I would suggest is that you reach out to one of our resource partners, depending on where you are located. If you remember correctly on my one slide that shows some of our webinars, there was a QuickBooks webinar that was on there. So if you're in the New Jersey area, I would go to the SBA.gov website, pull up our district office. That will take you to their website for New Jersey and list all of our resource partners in New Jersey. But SCORE, our women's business centers, our small business development centers, pretty much, all of them provide training on accounting, bookkeeping, etc. But we do not supply specific help for bookkeeping. Any other questions for Wilma or I?
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll stay on. So if anything does pop up, we'll stay on and monitor that and help during the next presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, Kimberly and Wilma. You gave such a wealth of information. There was no questions to be asked. I mean, everything was very clear and precise. And I want to thank you for sharing those additional resources. Just to let you guys know, if you have any questions about any of the resources that was listed or named by Kimberly and Wilma, please feel free to reach out. If you need technical assistance in bookkeeping or any other areas that we can assist, reach out to me, Aaliyah A. Bunch at emsdc.org as your MBE services representative. I'm here to connect you with those resources as well. So please make sure that you're being very vocal about your needs for your business. This is the beginning of 2022 and we want to see everybody grow and prosper. So reach out, ask for help. The resources are here, they're available, and a lot of them are free. So don't be shy to see how we could assist your business. And I want to thank you ladies again so much. As we mentioned, the presentation at the end of this session, we will share with all of those resources listed and with the contact information to reach Wilma and Kimberly. So thank you guys for listening. And now I want to introduce you to our second portion of this session from the Business Consortium Fund. We have Mr. Ruben Rodriguez, and he's the Senior Vice President and Chief Lending Officer at the Business Consortium Fund. So Ruben is here. He's going to explain to you guys all about the services that they provide and their funding options that they have available for our small diverse businesses right now. So welcome, Ruben. You can unmute yourself and the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaliyah, and thank you all for having me here today. I'm here to speak primarily about the new program that we launched, the Microloan program, but I wanted to kind of run through this first set of slides, which I will introduce to you in a minute. First set of slides that will give you an overview of our organization. One thing to note, and I'm saying it up front, our microloan program has been so successful and we have had so many system issues that we had to temporarily close the portal, and we will reopen it in a couple of weeks, probably by February 1st. So there is still funds there. So I just wanted to let you know that. But without saying anything further, I am going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see the screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And this is very sensitive, so I got to run my mouse really slowly here. The Business Consortium Fund provides flexible capital to entrepreneurs of color who have been underserved by the traditional financial institution. Our mission is to address the historical lack of access capital for minority firms. That's straight our mission. We're a 501c3. We're an affiliate organization of the NMSDC. So we've been around since around early 1980s. And we personally have been with the organization for the last 9 years. I was a banker with major banks, with JP Morgan Chase for 16 years, and with Bank of America for 8 years, and a couple of small banks and some nonprofit organizations. And this is my home, and this is where I'm going to retire, I hope. But that's really our mission and our goal. Okay. Types of financing. We have, I highlighted first the microloan program we started back in November, and which is term loans up to $100,000. We also offer traditional loans, and these are regular BCF loans for stable businesses. And we offer terms from 3 to 5 years, and sometimes even 7 years, depending on the situation. We also offer longer term loans and investments through Triad Investments LP, which is a small business investment company, which we generally offer it to stable to high performing businesses. And we can offer loans up to 1.125 million. This one is, I mean, this is a presentation in itself, how we do this. We are licensed through the Small Business Administration to do this type of investing. And we can invest pure equity, or we can invest quasi-equity. We can do subordinated debt, which means that we just come in behind everyone else, every one of your creditors, and we take your stock or a certain percentage of your stock as collateral with an exit plan. So there's different ways that we can strategize SSBIC lending. And for those who require any loans that are over $1.125 million, we have options as well through affiliates and through partners that we can partner with to get you financed in that way as well. And we offer advisory services for all entrepreneurs of color. Loan types, pretty simple: term loans, lines of credit, equipment finance, accounts receivable, purchase order financing, factoring, and microloans up to $100,000. And we divide the program. We have 2 divisions now, but it's actually 3 now. It's actually 4 if you count Triad. But we have the direct loan program. We just lend directly to the business owner. We have the participation program, where we ask a bank to take the lead in writing up the loan, maybe a credit union, even another CDFI or another funding institution, in which we purchase a participation of the loan to help with the risk, to spread the risk out. The third portion now is the microloan program, and the fourth portion of our business is the Triad Investments LP. Underwriting criteria, and I'm not going to get too much into it because our website, which is what I'm going to go over with, which is my goal, is to kind of navigate through our website and show you how to apply for the microloan and for any other loan as well through our website. And the loans can be used for a variety of purposes. And like I mentioned, this is our traditional lending product, $1.125 million. To certified MVEs of any regional council of the NMSDC. You must be in business for 3 years or more, and we should have CPA prepared financial statements and / tax returns. And there's certain criteria that we look at, future business prospect, repayment ability, financial condition, earnings history, and management experience and credit history of the owner as well. Microloan program, I'm going to skip that for now. And really, Triad Investments, I kind of touched on that as well. Loans range from $100,000 to $5 million with terms up to seven years. And there is a discrepancy there because you see it's loans up to $5 million, but we say we only do up to $1.125 million. Well, we can entertain loans with a partner that can go up to $5 million as long as our portion doesn't go up to $1.125 million. And so this is important. This is our contact information. And this deck, Aaliyah, I forwarded to Aaliyah, so you can, you feel free to distribute it to the participants. But we don't have a large staff. You're looking at our staff. Sarah Halpern is our president, who joined our organization back in September. And you also have Socorro Vallejo, our chief financial officer, and Albert Garcia is our portfolio manager. That is our staff. We are looking to increase our staff soon. We're going to need to, because we have an overload of applications, especially from the microloan program. So the best way to contact us is to email us. It's easier for us to reply to you in email. And if we need to set up a phone consultation, we do that. But generally, the first contact should be by email. It's a lot easier for us to get back to you, as opposed to taking time away from us processing your applications and calling everyone back, because everyone wants to get their application, approved right away. And we understand that. So I'm gonna move away from this slide deck. And this screen is our landing page for our website. This is where you generally apply for your microloan. You click on up here, and generally a drop down is going to come and it says apply for a loan. We have that turned off right now. And the reason we have that is that we started this program back in November 9th, but unfortunately we wanted to make this automated, and we started a new loan program. We developed a new loan program. Our IT providers did that for us. And we launched that program along with the new microloan program on November 9th. We had a lot of system problems in terms of originations, in terms of borrowers. We realized that borrowers with iMac computers could not apply. They had issues actually even going through the application process. And we had some issues with clients uploading documents that are required for us to analyze the loans and approve it. So we came up with a myriad of problems that we've been navigating through. Thus, we've been delayed. Our applications have been delayed by a month or more. So we decided to turn off the loan portal for now, and we'll restart it once we catch up. We're in the process of catching up with our delayed applications. We still have some minor system problems, but we've been able to navigate through those, and we should be ready. We should be caught up by February 1st, and we'll turn it back on, and we'll be available, to process new applications. We've had a lot of issues with borrowers. One of the issues the borrowers have had is that, or not understanding how to navigate and how to go through the application process. So my goal here is to kind of navigate through our website, which is very comprehensive. We have everything you need to, is very detailed as to what you need, what's needed, and how do we go through the process of applying for a loan. So this is our landing page, and you're going to hit microloans over here. Now, the first thing for you to get some more information is you're going to click on here, microloan FAQs, and it's going to bring you to the FAQ page up here. And I'm trying to get that, and please bear with me here as I move my mouse over here. Okay. Okay, so now you see the FAQ page over here. And this is very comprehensive. It gives you a lot of detail as to how general FAQs, qualifications for the program, microloan docs that you need, documentation for depending on which program you're looking at, and microloan program application. And I'm going to run through the application process as well. And 1 second here. Okay, when you click on FAQ, you see here, application process. How do I apply for a microloan? You click on this plus here. Sees here, you're going to get a screen that's going to, it's not like this, and we're going to go through the actual screen, but this kind of gives you the drop-down menus of everything you're going to need. You're going to specify what the loan amounts are you applying for, between 10 and 15,000, 1501 to 75,000, and up to 100,000, or 100,000 and one, or up to 1.125. So it gives you an option of what program you're applying for based on the loan amount that you're looking for. And it's going to ask you what you're going to use the money for. Excuse me, very sensitive over here. Confirm that your business has no prior bankruptcies, no tax liens, no unresolved, no judgments, no filed tax liens, and no unresolved tax liens over $5,000, sorry. And it's going to tell you what are the documents that are going to need to be supplied. Now, bear with me here. And I am having a little bit of trouble trying to get this thing moved over so I can access my okay. Before you get, this is the actual application you're going to get to, but you're going to get to a questionnaire. And here we go. So when you go to our website, you hit apply. This is going to be the screen pop-up that you get. You're going to say, it's going to ask you whether you are a certified minority, or if you're not certified, you're in process of being certified. If you are certified, you click no, you have to start all over again. So, and it's going to, a pop-up is going to come up, and it's going to direct you to the NMSDC, and you look for your regional council to apply for certification. So if you are certified, you want to make sure you hit yes or hit in process, right? So when you hit yes, right, you'll be required to upload certification application receipt in our loan portal. You're going to get that pop. Okay. Have you filed for bankruptcy? You didn't file for bankruptcy, say no, because if you say yes, it's going to stop you from moving forward. Have you had a had a judgment, federal tax lien, or state tax lien within the last 3 years? So let's assume you said no, amount requested. So assuming you're going to apply for a $75,000 loan, you're going to get this pop-up, says click OK, continue to the pre-qualification questionnaire for microloans from 1501 to 75,000, you hit OK. So now you have the pre-qualification questionnaire. Have you filed your business tax returns 18, 19, and 20? Yes. Click on next. How long have you been operating your business? 3 years or over. Next. Okay. What were your gross revenues for 2019 or 2020, whichever was higher? We gave you credit, the opportunity to use 2019 gross revenues because we know everyone had a poor year in 2020 due to the pandemic. So let's say 100,000 and over. And what were the guarantor's average credit scores? We do rely heavily. It's not the whole thing that we rely on. We do weigh heavily your personal credit history. So in this case, if your score was 620 and over, you hit yes, and then you're going to hit continue to the application. So the application, I'm not going to click on here because if I do, it's going to go into the application mode. And I don't want to fill that out at this point. So I'm going to give you the actual PDF of the application. So when you continue to the application, this is the application. It's very straightforward. It's going to ask you information. Make sure you enter the required fields. One thing to note here, there's some drop downs here. So just make sure you answer these questions here in these drop downs. But one thing to note, if you have a lot of borrowers are not following this, if you are not 100% owner, and we need to account for 90% of the ownership, if you are not 100% owner, you need to add owners, because this is the owner section, name and title. It asks you for some personal information. But you see here, it doesn't show any information for additional owners. So you click on this blue box, which will be an active box. You click on that and it'll open you another owner section. So you can click on it a couple of times if you want to open up more owner sections. A lot of people don't understand that. They ignore this blue box. And what happens is that they only enter, let's say they're 51% owner or 50% owner. So now we're missing the rest of the ownership structure of the business. So we want to be able to account for the owners. Even though only one needs to sign, the president, CEO, managing member, whoever is authorized to sign in the bottom, but we're going to need the ownership information as well and the percent ownership. Same thing here for business debt. You see there's only one line for schedule of business debt. Obviously, if you have more debt on the business, just click on here and you can add another line for another debtor. Same thing here for corporate members. You're dealing with corporate members. You're the NMSDC. If you dealt with any corporate member over the last 12 months or are currently dealing with them, you want to put it here. If there's a lot of corporate members, just put in the top 3. Maybe you want to add 3. Important here, I mean, you are required to upload your tax returns, your 2018, 19, and 20 tax returns. And we want you to give us a projection. So we know that, you pretty much have an idea of what you know what you did last year, you know what you did in 2019. Are you going to replicate 2019? Are you going to exceed your revenues? At this point, you have a pretty good idea how much you have done in 2021, and you can put that here as projected. You put in your net income. It's up to us to review your financial statements, add non-cash items like depreciation. We can add back interest, amortization, and some one-time expenses, and we can come up with a cash flow number to support your ability to repay the loan, considering all your obligations and cash flow generated by the business. But we want to have this little snapshot here in order for us to get a quick idea of how you look in the business. Amount of financing requested here. Just put in the amount of requested. We have a lot of people that don't input that amount, or they put $1, or they're not sure. I think that the best way to approach this is to analyze what you need and come up with a number, because it's difficult for us to figure out exactly what you need. Really, it's your business, so you should really know what's the amount that you're going to be requesting. And you can further break down that amount over here, use of proceeds. So is it working capital, inventory, furniture, debt refinancing? And maybe it's another one. So you could, for another purpose other than this up here, just put it over here. You can break that down to equal the amount that you are requesting. How many jobs? This is very important. How many jobs you think you estimate that will be created as a result of this financing? How many jobs will be retained? So if you are going to get rid of one person, and as a result of this financing, you're going to keep this employee, then you want to say 1 job has been created. So if you're going to create 3 additional jobs, you can do that as well, add 3 jobs. You put your initials here, and it's electronic, so you can just put letters here, type name and title, date, and you hit submit. Once you submit, a lot of people, the problem they're coming up with is that you get a pop-up screen. And we understand some of you have pop-up blockers. So the pop-up screen is going to bring you to our loan portal for you to register to our loan portal, so you can set up through the email address that you use to sign up here on the application. You're going to set up a password, and now you have access to our loan portal. That's important because our loan portal is where you are going to see what information you're going to need, and that you're going to need to upload. It's going to provide you with upload slots, and it's going to allow you to send messages, instant messages to us, and it's going to allow you to see the status of your loan application. So that's important for you you can save that loan portal information so you can log into it later on. You usually get the opportunity to sign up on that pop-up screen once you hit submit on the application. So when you hit submit, this is the pre-qualification questionnaire. Hold on. This is the login screen you're going to get. You're going to click on here, register. I'm not going to hit register now, just going to get a screen that says registered, and then register a password, and you're going to be in. I'm going to log in with I did a practice application. So I'm going to log in with my email address, so you can see how our loan portal looks like. Okay, you see here, and you see application status declined. I declined my own loan. This is a practice application. So I'm going to hit open, so you can, generally you would hit open here, it'll show the application that you just applied for. And when you hit open here, you're going to get something that looks like this. You're going to get this progress bar up here that shows you where you are in terms of the underwriting process. You have an instant message screen over here, and you also have an upload portal over here. So generally, all you got to do is it's going to tell you what document you need. This is actually from the PPP program, but this works the same way. It's going to show you what documents you need to upload, and then you click on here and you upload the document to here. Okay, you can always send an instant message, so you can type in a message. Hello, and you click on here, and the message is there. We can see it on our end, and we can reply. We generally don't reply instantly, but when we get back to it, we'll definitely reply to you. Generally, you can send a message instantly here. You can email us as well. But this is your portal, and this is what tells you what the progress is of your application at any point. Okay. I'm going to move over from this portal. Okay. And I'm just going to go back to the slide here. And it's important, okay. I wanted to kind of touch on the program itself. And there's a lot of, like I said, in our website, there is a lot of information. You go to the FAQs, and it gives you a lot of detailed information as to what you need for the loan and how to apply. And it's very comprehensive. So I do encourage you to use our website. And pretty much this is the presentation. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free.
Thank you so much, Ruben. Thank you for walking us through that application. I know
it is a little bit difficult, and I think it's a lot easier. If people have questions, I can answer them.
Sure. So we know it could get a little overwhelming with these loan applications. So thank you for that, Ruben. We did have a few questions over here in the chat. Some of these questions, I believe, can be if an SBA rep wants to jump in and also answer on your behalf, because some of these questions sound like it could be for both of you. And I want to thank Wilma for already replying to one. But it does ask, I'm sorry, do you qualify for these anywhere in PA or just in PA? And so if you could just give a better understanding of the reach for the BCF, Ruben, where is your, I believe it's national, so don't quote me. So how would you answer that?
It's national. Our program is national. We're like the SBA. So we are a national program. We cover everything, including Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands.
Wow, nice. So they're everywhere. And how about you guys, Kimberly? What's your reach?
So the SBA is a federal agency, so we have support throughout the country, including Puerto Rico and Guam. So again, anything within the U.S. or U.S. territories, we do have support. For our district office, we cover the 40 eastern counties of Pennsylvania. So we know more of our local lenders, but for all of our programs, they're available nationally.
Great. So that was a great question, guys. Just to let you know, it doesn't matter where you're located or how big your business grows. We'll be able to connect you with an affiliate that will be able to help you if Ruben, Kimberly, or Wilma is not. And that goes for EMSDC as well. We have 23 affiliate regions. So you guys are looking to do business outside of our region, just let me know. I'll be happy to connect you. So we have another question. This young lady says she's certified through the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey. Would she be able to use the certification, or would she need EMSDC certification? Would she need to apply for EMSDC? I think this was for you, Ruben, because I noticed focused on EMSDC members. Is that one of the main criterias to receive the loan?
It is the main criteria to receive the loan. A lot of these programs, especially the Wells Fargo loan program and the In This Together program, provides low interest rates at 3%. And it is in partnership with the NMSDC. And so we require that you be certified or in the process of being certified with the NMSDC with any regional council. It could be EMSDC, New York, New Jersey, or whoever your home council is.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to go back up to your name. I believe it's Kim. Kimra, I'm sorry, Kimra. So if that answered your question, or if you needed any additional resources, please feel free to reach out to my email. I'll be happy to tell you how to get connected with someone in your area, or how what you have to do to get certified with EMSDC and subscribed in your home council. So thank you. That's a great question. And seeing that we reached New Jersey, so that's great to know. So I think this question came up when Ruben, I see that you did have something about lines of credit. It asks, Doug is asking, are there programs for lines of credit as well? So if Ruben, you can ask that, answer that question.
Sure. We do have programs for lines of credit. Anything over $100,000, we could offer it in a line of credit. The qualifications criteria is a little bit more intense. There's a lot more documentation that's required. Yeah, it's generally anything up to 100,000 is a term loan from 3 to 5 years. One thing I do want to clarify, and I just remembered this, we cannot go, if we're offering a 3% rate, annual percentage rate, we cannot go over 75,000. So any loans over 75, so a micro loan from 7501 up to 100,000 will be our regular rate, which will be minimum of 6% and can go up to 9%.
Okay.
Now, one thing in terms of rates, and I know that's not the question, but it's when you remember things, you want to clarify it to them. When we are doing traditional BCF loans that are over 100,000, especially on the Triad side, Triad is a small business investment company licensed by the SBA. So investments are higher rate, higher risk. So those could have higher rates than 10%.
Thank you, Ruben. Now, if you guys wanted to speak more about the lines of credit and the programming surrounded by that, please feel free to email Ruben with any direct questions about a specific funding option that you feel will fit your company. Now, Kim, do you guys have any information to speak to lines of credit as well?
Not necessarily. I mean, SBA 7A can be used as a line of credit. More specifically, what we suggest is that you reach out to your lending institution. They have the flexibility, and the loan officer can work specifically with that small business to see what their needs are, to better understand if it's a term loan or a line of credit, how much. They're the ones that are responsible for the underwriting. So that's really a conversation I suggest you have with the loan officers.
Perfect. And I asked SBA to come talk a little bit more about their lenders match programming. So you guys look out for invitation for that. If you want to speak to Kimberly or Wilma a little bit more about the 7A or lenders match, please feel free to reach out. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for that. Let me see if I have another one from Deborah. She would like to know, how much monthly cash deposits in your business do you have to show on your banking documents?
There is no set amount of cash deposits because it's there, that your bank statement is there. So what we're looking for is we want to corroborate, but especially what you project to do. So what you projected for 2021, does that kind of match? Is it in line, annualized, what you're doing? So sometimes if your business may have seasonal ups and downs, and you may have given us a seasonal low 3 months. So we say, well, that's not exactly what you're going to do. Maybe give us another 3 months and we'll analyze 6 months. So those are things that we look for, but we don't look for certain cash deposits. We look for the type of transaction that's going in. So if you're doing a transfer from your savings account to your checking account, or from another checking to this checking account, then is that really revenue that you're recognizing? So we're looking for electronic transactions. Mainly most of the businesses now get paid electronically. So we'll look at those electronic transactions, and we'll see, is that during the course of doing business, or is this a loan that you're getting, or so and so. So we're looking at the deposits. We're looking at also the withdrawals as well. Are your withdrawals exceeding your deposits by a lot every month? So we look at things like that, but there is no set deposit. No.
Thank you for that. Kimberly, do you have anything to add? Is there anything specifically you guys are looking for when you're looking through these applications as regards to cash deposits and the way they're managing their banking habits?
Yeah, that's not really something that the SBA can answer, because our loan programs go through the third-party lending institution. So every lending institution has what they look for, and make their decisions. I can only say, like, the SBA puts on, terms and conditions that we're looking for, and they're typically much more flexible than what a lending institution would ask for. For example, if you don't have the collateral that a lending institution is asking for, they can go to 7A SBA and get the guarantee for it. And we say, okay, you may not have the collateral, but your capacity to pay back is there. The cash flow is good. You have good credit. Everything else fits. You're just missing collateral. So give it, the guarantee, and then the bank feels comfortable offering that loan. So we don't specifically look at every application. You go to a lending institution, you go through their loan process, and then if there's for some reason something that makes the lending institution a little bit uncomfortable, it doesn't fit in their box, they can then put the 7A guarantee to it.
Nice. Thank you for that, guys. Just goes back to banking relationships, and we'll be talking more about that in some of these upcoming sessions. Just making sure that you're consistent with your banking habits and truthful with your banking institution, and they'll be able to direct you to show how they can really assist your business. So
yeah, and if you don't mind, I don't mean to interrupt you, I apologize, but going back to the resource partners that we talked about, SCORE, the Women's Business Centers, VBOC, the Small Business Development Center, those mentors and those consultants can help you with your cash flow projections. They can review the business plan. They can review all of the information that you may have to present to a lending institution or a loan officer to make sure that you're prepared for that ask of a loan. So please, understand that these resources are out there to assist you. And many times when a small business has worked through one of our partners, they come in better prepared and most likely being successful in getting that loan.
Yes, Thank you so much for that, Kimberly. We cannot stress enough how much is important for you guys to utilize these resources in every area that your business is in. We'll be able to help locate where a regional office or SCORE, SBDC, or any of them will be able to assist you. So feel free to ask if you're not aware or not already working with one of these agencies. I believe we have another question. Now, I believe it was geared to startups. Where did I get away from it? Okay, Ravenel, and I believe Wilma kind of answered this question a little bit, but I guess I'm going to see if Ruben has an answer before any loans for startups, specifically, Ruben.
Unfortunately, we do not do loans for startups. It's very risky, and we don't want to risk too much our capital. We don't have that much of it.
Right.
And we want to preserve it for other MBEs. So you do have to be 3 years in business, except for the microloan programs for loans up to $15,000. You only need to be in business 2 years.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And Wilma was able to respond to that. She also suggested the lenders match. Looking on the website, and I guess you guys could feel free to connect with these ladies if you have any questions about any other specific funding programs that's here for startups. So that was a very great question. Thank you. So I do have another question. It's asking, how does the strength of your overall business industry play in the decision to underwrite a loan application? Do anyone feel comfortable with taking this question?
Sure, yeah. That is part of our loan process, our due diligence. We do analyze what's going on in the industry. And it is part of the decision. Does it have a lot of weight? It probably, in terms of weight, it doesn't have as much weight as, financial considerations of your business and credit. Personal credit history of the guarantors of the business. Those have more weight. Cash flow available to service the debt, that has a lot more weight. So yeah, that is part of it. That is part of it. Is it something that would make or break the loan decision? No, not at all.
I think that was a great question, and you never know what the criteria, but just to let you guys know, only thing that may change is the size of the project, I guess, with the industry. So I guess maybe that's why they asked that question. Like some industries like construction might have like very large, larger needs than others. So I guess that may be something that they were thinking may be considered. So thank you for that question. That was a great question. And now I'm looking, and I think I got to the end here. I don't think I have any more questions. But I definitely want to thank the attendees that joined us, that were able to engage with our presenters and get some of your banking questions answered. I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have a survey coming out. It's pretty much like an assessment. So we could try to be a little bit prepared with some topics that you guys might want to learn about in the upcoming sessions. So feel free to fill out that survey so that we can get a good idea on how to service you. Also, we will have an email come out with the presentation from the SBA and from the BCF, along with contact information. So that will be coming out shortly afterwards. And I also wanted to bring we have shared a few opportunities. The Boost Your Business opportunity. I'm not sure if you guys received that information, but if you are a business owner in Philadelphia, I'm sorry, this is just for Philadelphia residents. If you've been in business for about 3 years and you want to learn about this opportunity to funding to scale your business, please reach out to me. I'll make sure I'll share that with you again. But as far as, please check our website. We have a lot of programming coming out in 2022 that we're very excited about. We're going to be partnering with some organizations, a few like Kimberly has named, some of our resource partners, and we have a lot of things coming up the pipeline. So make sure you stay tuned to our website and check out all of our upcoming events. We have the Super Matchmaker coming out next week too. So if you haven't checked and registered and seen if there are any of your targets on that list, then you definitely should. Thank you again to our presenters from SBA and Ruben. You guys are great. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. You guys have anything else to add right now?
Good.
Well, thank you, Wilma. Thank you, Kimberly, and thank you, Ruben. And a special thanks to my Director of Administrative Technical Services, Meg Markley. She's behind the scenes and always on point. So thank her so much. I know you see our emails coming out a lot. So thank you, Meg, and thank you everyone for joining. You guys have a great day.
You too. Thank you.